I'm finding it really, really difficult to start an episode, without acknowledging something that is currently going on and taking place overseas in the Middle East. Before I do anything or say anything else, um, I definitely just want to say thank you. Thank you all for joining me on this episode of the Everybody Can't Go podcast, episode 44. I would definitely like to start this episode off by saying peace, love, prayers, and prosperity to everybody all over the world. Obviously, there's currently a war taking place in the Middle East. You got different, militias in different countries, battling over, holy grounds and territory and land. And, at the end of the day, this is the thing. A politician, I'm not. A politician, I'm not. You know, I'm no dictator. I'm no, ambassador. I'm no worldwide figure. Obviously, in the news lately, it's kind of hard to, really avoid the obvious, right? And, the elephant in the room, you know, uh, this week, as far as the news cycle, right? As far as, whatever you're doing, you're not, it's going to be hard to kind of miss what is taking place. And this war that is going on right now, we are seeing, I mean, listen, images and videos of, you know, people getting slaughtered, assassinated, people being, murdered because, these beliefs that one group of individuals have, you know, uh, I mean, really, realistically, I don't really think there's a way that you can really, justify any of this, right? There's no holy doctrine, no Bible, no book, no Quran, no Torah. There's really nothing that you can show me written down or printed on a piece of paper that can justify anything that's going on. Now, once again, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to step back, right? Because at the end of the day, this is not, obviously I'm speaking on this situation completely from the outside looking in, right? But man, it's so hard to not look in, from the outside when you see what's going on. Just right before this episode, I kind of I took a gander at some of the footage. Obviously, I definitely want to also salute all of the, these journalists that are basically risking their lives, to go out to these places where all of this, this chaos is ensuing, and in real time, journalists are they running through destruction, buildings. Obviously, a lot of airstrikes and different things have been taking place. It's one thing to hear about this stuff, but when you are actually able to see what's going on, right? You hear about a music festival being shut down, and then they actually show you what that looks like, right? And I don't really want to necessarily get into any more detail, what I'm saying, about as far as what I've seen. I'm pretty sure that everybody's kind of seeing the same things at this point. It's horrific. It's not something that yeah, it's uninspiring. It's uninspiring to say the least. And it was actually difficult for me to do this episode, if I'm being honest with you, because unfortunately, like I said, I definitely went and I watched some of the, some of those clips. I try to stray away from those, 9 times out of 10. Um, but I'm not gonna lie to you. This is, like I said, this has definitely been the elephant in the room this week. October 14th, 2023. It is 12:24 p.m. on the East Coast. Willmatic TV is your host. This is the E.B.C.G podcast. Once again, episode 44. We are 4 episodes away from completing another season. Yeah, that's right. Season 3 you know, definitely will begin. I'm pretty sure that I'll be at season 3 in the next. Yeah, the way I've been. Listen. It's only been 6 days. It's only been 6 days since episode 43. So all I'm saying is this: I told you our fourth quarter comeback. I ain't say fourth quarter comeback to sit on the sidelines. If you understand what I'm saying, listen. Yeah, I'm out here. Apple, Spotify. We'll get to me a little bit later. I wanna stay focused on what's going on. This is definitely not the time to try to play politician. But once again, just the humanitarian in me. It's not really sitting right with me what's going on. I don't really have a side here that I can really say that I feel like one side is. There is no right or wrong here. There is no right or wrong here. All of it is bad, all of it is bad. I don't really feel like anybody, any human being, you know, we are all under, I mean, everybody has a different belief system, obviously, right? But what I'm saying is that I just don't feel like, under God, as human beings, as individuals, we don't have the right to make the determination that a group, hundreds of people, thousands of people, countries, cities, should be wiped off of the face of the earth. So we definitely want to, just off top, I wanted to just, acknowledge that. Like I said, I don't necessarily really know, you know, it doesn't seem like they're, you know, getting closer to any kind of peace treaty here, right? I don't see any two, as a matter of fact, I believe the prime minister of Israel, I don't have his name in front of me, but there wasn't a conference and he basically stated that, there's no, um there's no there's no peace here, right? It's wartime. We're not gonna come to the table right now. There's no time for negotiations, right? Is what he said. And I mean, it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate, especially considering the fact that there are hostages who are currently, whose lives are basically dependent on, the actions of these individuals, right? And I know it's a lot to put on. Once again, like I said, you know, we shouldn't necessarily have, to make these decisions, right? We shouldn't necessarily be the judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to making a decision on whether people live or die. But unfortunately, when you're in a situation when you're at war, right? And you have groups of people who believe one thing and then another group believes another thing, there's really no time to kind of try to make sense of things. And right now, hostages are sitting waiting to see what's going on. They talking about they getting ready to they killing hostages, right? So it's kind of like, you know, amongst those hostages, obviously, we have US citizens as well, from what I understand, who are amongst those who have been captured over there, listen, and at the end of the day, prayers to them as well. Prayers to everybody in the situation. Once again, there's no title that you can put on anything that's going to really change things for me here. As humans, right? I'm focused on humans. We definitely have a lot to get to. We have, yeah, we definitely have a loaded. Listen. It has not been a slow news week, to say the least. So yeah, like I said, once again, this is definitely an escalating, unfortunate situation. The question is, are we too? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I just feel like it's been written. It's been written, man. It's been written. A lot of the stuff that's going on, a lot of the stuff that we see transpiring all over the world. You got Russia, Ukraine, you got this situation. I mean, there's so many people in need of aid right now, so many people suffering right now. I just feel like if you're in a position where you have the ability to wake up every single day, with the freedom and the ability to, kind of basically carve out and create your own destiny, whatever that may be, if you have that privilege, right? I mean, I just feel like you truly have to be waking up every single day, looking in the mirror and thanking your higher power, you know, the God you serve, whatever or whoever that may be, right? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. When I see stuff like this, it just really, my appreciation level for life, changes. I get a little down if I'm being honest. Like I am one of those people who, this stuff actually does, it kind of does affect the way I view things, right? I kind of gotta. Sometimes you kind of have to just, and that's why it's important at the end of the day. You know what? Listen, like I said once again, appreciation. You just gotta appreciate, the privileges that you have, and yeah, man, it just changes the point of view. All I can say is, man, it's just peace, love, prosperity, and prayers once again to those people, to all people, because E.B.C.G, everybody can grow. There's a certain responsibility that we have, when we're putting our voices on these platforms, and basically taking it upon ourselves to provide information to people, right? People that we don't necessarily know. I've learned this, so many times, so many different instances of just you really truly don't know who's watching and who's listening, right? So you have to kind of, well, let me speak for myself. That's something that I like to take heed to whenever I'm on the microphone, because at the end of the day, listen, y'all already know E.B.C.G, Willmatic. I turn up. I get on here. I talk my shit. You know what I'm saying? If I got a case going on and I come on here, I let y'all know what's going on. By the way, that case is still pending, right? And I'm looking at the calendar right now, and season 3 might be. I wanna talk about this Rich Paul, memoir that just dropped, titled "Lucky Me," and it's a memoir of changing the odds. Now, I have not yet read the memoir. I didn't even see how the book looked. I didn't even see the cover, if I'm being honest. Let me look it up right now, actually. I'm definitely going to grab this, and I only just threw it in there because I am definitely, once again, I do feel like Rich Paul has a story that is a very, very, I mean, off top, inspiring for one. I mean, we're talking about, and personally, I wasn't even aware of, basically just the background and, the history, where he came from, like kind of to come up. I didn't realize he was in the streets. I didn't know it was a few things I wasn't really aware of, right? I kind of just assumed, all right, this is a guy who, is just savvy in business. The reality of the situation is Rich Paul, you know, uh, basically just took full advantage of an opportunity, that was placed before him. He seized the moment. It's basically what he did. You know, you go from, hustling on the streets of Cleveland, what I'm saying? You looking over your shoulder 9 times out of 10, you going from, what I'm saying? Basically just living that life of uncertainty, right? Like, the money's coming in, but you don't really know how long this is going to last at the end of the day, right? So I say all that to say this. He randomly runs into LeBron. I mean, this is the story that he told on the Breakfast Club, right? Because like I said, I didn't read the memoir yet, but I definitely plan on getting my hands on that memoir. I feel like it's definitely a read that a lot of black men, young black men, older black men, just black men in general. It's definitely a story that I feel like is relatable, and I haven't read it yet, but based on the interviews that I've seen him doing, this is looking like a must grab. This is my book recommendation of the week. I'm gonna start giving y'all those. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't just be on here talking. Like at the end of the day, I'm reading something, right? You on here talking all the damn time. You had to have read something. Book recommendation. Yeah, we gonna do that, man. Willmatic Book Club. I'm gonna coin a phrase. We gonna think of something, but my book recommendation of the week is definitely Rich Paul, Lucky Me, a memoir of changing the odds. Beat out Jada by 10 points, fam. Yeah, they was neck and neck. It was Jada and Rich Paul. They was neck and neck for that for my book recommendation of the week. We gonna get to Jada a little bit later. And I promise you, Willmatic TV never been a hater. That yeah, cause that's a yeah. We gonna get to that. So yeah, he met LeBron, right? I didn't even finish the story, but basically, long story short, he met LeBron. He seized the moment, ended up developing a relationship, and from that relationship was able to kind of maneuver and learn certain things about business. And now he's at a point now where he's basically sitting on an empire, right? He's running, the face of companies. He got a sneaker brand. He got a signature shoe. So yeah, book recommendation of the week: Rich Paul, Lucky Me, a memoir of changing the odds. Salute to Rich Paul for changing the odds. Yeah, yeah, yeah. LeBron still, it's so crazy that LeBron is really still like in the league right now as Braun. So we offer Rich Paul, right? Let me go ahead and um I feel like we have to revisit the Drake album. We definitely have to revisit that. But before we get to that, because at the end of the day, like I said, listen, episode 43, I kind of was like, a little bit overwhelmed. There was kind of a lot going on. Like I said, I just kind of got back. Realistically, I ain't have my setup for a little while, right? I'm still kind of working, shaking off that rust of, all of those months of me sitting there with my phone, with the iPhone headphones, fam, the wired joints. The wire swinging, I'm hitting the mic, it's static. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get back in my form, is what I'm saying. So realistically, last episode I gave y'all the Drake review, but I didn't really give y'all the Drake review. You understand what I'm saying? The album was fresh. You understand? I kind of, like I said, I played it. The J. Cole verse. What happened was, let me tell y'all what happened. All right, you know what? We here now. Let's get back to the Drake. We gonna get to it now then, since we right. I was gonna give y'all the BET Hip Hop Awards review, 50th year hip hop tribute, the Marley Marl, absolutely. You know what? Let's go there. We want to definitely salute, obviously, hip hop, more specifically Marley Marl. Obviously Marley Marl is one of the pioneers of, hip hop. You know what I'm saying? OG. You know, I think of, just tradition. When I think of Marley Marl, I'm not that familiar with the music necessarily, right? Because at the end of the day, listen, fam, Marley Marl, that's before my time, right? And at the end of the day, LimeWire, so many different things transpired in music that, I kind of got distracted from some of those crates. I didn't get to that crate. You understand? But I do obviously recognize and, acknowledge the fact that, this is truly, one of the pioneers of hip hop. And I feel like it's absolutely necessary that we salute and, we pay homage, if you will, to individuals such as Marley Marl. My only issue, I didn't really have an issue. This is my thing. This is my thing. I think BET, the BET Awards, I just feel like at this point, this just has to be said. I'm not really sure why nobody else is saying it, but I'm gonna hit y'all with the exclusive. You see, this is the thing, right? I try to be, I try to be fair. I try to be fair. I try to look at things from different perspectives, right? I try to look at it from my point of view and your point of view. 9 times out of 10, I'm agreeing with my point of view. I say all that to say this. I say all that to say this. I think it's time that we just acknowledge the fact that the award show, the whole hip hop awards, BET, we need to cancel all BET programming until further notice, fam. Yeah, yeah, shut it down. Shut the whole goddamn BE2. Do they even have a studio? Shut it down. If they have a studio, close the doors and padlock them ASAP, fam. I'm not really sure why we can't just get an award show where basically like things are just running smoothly, fam. Like the basics, the things that we, as a viewer, sitting at home, right? Because we're not in the audience, right? Nobody. I mean, if you're not from Atlanta, you're probably not at the BET Hip Hop Awards, right? Unless you're like an artist, a new artist or something, like you get free tickets. That whole situation, right? I'm sitting at home, I'm watching this shit on the laptop, you know what I'm saying? The mics is in and out, fading out. You can't really hear the ciphers. What was the These were the worst ciphers ever by far. It's so bad that I literally I had to go back and listen to some of the older ciphers, like just to refresh my palate. I have never heard ciphers this bad before. Not even just for BET standards, just for any cipher standards, man. We used to cipher in the schoolyard and shit. Like our ciphers was better than this, fam. This was a poor effort. It was poorly executed. It didn't look good. It sounded horrible. It was horrible. Like I don't really know how else to say it. I listen to hip hop. I'm a fan. I'm a fan at the end of the day. And listen, you're not gonna find anybody that gets more excited for a BET cipher than me. Like I said, they've had some really, really good ones. I mean, over the years. I'm not really sure what happened this year. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is what I feel. I just feel like I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know who's working over there. I don't. Tyler Perry, we know that, there was an announcement that came out that he purchased the network and we saluted him for that. We're gonna salute him again. Air horn for Tyler Perry. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's a big, boss move, right? To come and purchase, BET networks. Obviously, there's been so much flack, so much criticism. It's damn near like Zion going to the Knicks, right? It's like, damn, we was waiting for this for so long. We finally got a star player, you know what I'm saying? On the home team kind of thing, right? I'm just not really sure what the budget situation is right now. Maybe, right? Because obviously, listen, we, you know, the times we're in right now, it's, obviously, fiscally, things are, you know, you know what I'm saying, on the decline right now for a lot of people. And I would assume that BET, is no different than anybody else who's probably trying to, have all of their I's, dotted and their T's crossed as far as budgets, right? They probably got the budget probably got shaved, is what I'm saying. I mean, listen, we ain't seen a Baby Boy rerun on BT in a minute, fam. Tyrese was performing, you know what I'm saying? He didn't even listen. Like I said, once again, the audio, we just need to get better microphones. I'm not sure if it's the mics. I'm not sure if we just need to, maybe we need to get Parks from the Joe Budden podcast to sit stage side and you know what I'm saying, mix and master the show, fam. They just need a better sound. The sound is terrible. You can't even really get into the performances. Then, like I said, once again, they did the ciphers, right? This is basically like the main event, right? This is like what we came to see, basically, right? We didn't really come here to see the red carpet, and you know what I'm saying? They had math. Salute to Math Hoffa. Air horn for Math. Math Hoffa definitely, is on the come up. You know what I'm saying? He out here hosting award shows now, and I definitely feel like that was a good look for him. Obviously, my expert opinion, podcast. I'm not really sure if you call it. That's more of like it's damn near like like 60 minutes and shit. Like this is like our version of 60 minutes at this point, fam. The barbershop conversations, the setup, you know what I'm saying? He drops the clip. I ain't gonna, you be killing us with the clips. You do. Because those RZA Islam, I'm still waiting for the full RZA Islam interview, fam. He done dropped about 17 clips. But I see what they doing over there. Salute to Math and salute to, the come up. But my point is this, fam. BET, when are y'all gonna come up? You know what I'm saying? Math came up. Come on, I came up, fam. I'm on Apple now. Facts. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm on Apple now. Air horn for me on Apple now, fam. You know what I had to do? The grind, huh? The sacrifice, the work that I had to get put in, realistically, fam. I really could have been on there. It was just like I had to figure some things out. You know what I'm saying? But once I did, it was off to the races. I'm definitely on radio talk as well. Just want to throw that out there. iHeartMedia, you know, Spotify, of course, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, I'm just saying, we all got to come up at some point, right? E.B.C.G podcast, if I missed anything, I'll throw it in there at the end, when I remember. I'm definitely not on AMP, though. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I will no longer be on the AMP platform. Obviously, AMP. And this is a crazy segue because I'm not even sure I was on the BET Awards, right? Let's get back to BET, right? Salute to AMP and thank you. I won't thank the BET Awards for that show though. I'm not gonna thank y'all. I won't thank BET. I just feel like I said once again, LL Cool J performed. Oh yeah, the tribute to JD. All right, so look, the tribute to JD was fly. I definitely enjoyed. All right, so yeah, we got to give them some credit, right? They did okay, right? And obviously, listen, Jermaine Dupri from Atlanta. Obviously, the BET Hip Hop Awards takes place in Atlanta. They had no other choice for real to get that. You know what I'm saying? They kind of had no choice. It's JD, fam. And realistically, I'm pretty sure you know, I'm pretty sure that he was kind of the reason why the performance is, they probably didn't even really have anything to do with, the performances or the setup. Bone Crusher, you know what I'm saying? We had the Brad out there. We definitely had, Bow Wow. And all I can say is this, fam. I never thought in a million years that I would watch a live performance in 2023 and the best performers, right? The people who stole the show were the Franchise Boys, fam. The Franchise Boys absolutely stole the show at the BET Hip Hop Awards 2023, fam. Facts. They had the best performance. They still look like, realistically, like they can still put out music, basically. Like, I'm not really sure why we don't have a Franchise Boys, you know, hit maker. I don't know. One of these producers, they could figure something out, man. All I'm saying is this, man. It was salute to all of the, so deaf. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, every time Jermaine Dupri does, I feel like I've seen him do this though a few times though. If I'm being honest, like he kind of been milking a little, but then it's like when you got a staple like this, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. JD been out here for a long time, man. Jermaine Dupri has definitely been outside for a long time. The ciphers were terrible though, and it's just so unfortunate. Like it's so bad that I don't even remember who performed, man. I remember I seen Scarlet at some point. I just feel like they tried to make it too much of a big, like a theatrical. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fam, it's the 50th year hip. If anything, the less theatrical this is, the better. Let's take it back to I thought they was gonna be in the Bronx in the park with like the boom box, like that would have been a fly. You know what I'm saying? You would figure, all right, 50th year hip hop. If we paying tribute, Marley Marl, come on, hip hop, boombox, be at. I don't know, man. Maybe I need to be over there in the production team because clearly they will never catch the Grammys at this rate. Are you kidding me? That's why they still put then they always want to talk about, oh, you put validity in these. Yeah, because our shit is trash, fam. It's trash. Respectfully, man. We gonna get off of that, man. And we have to revisit the Drake album review. So basically a lot has been said. A lot has been said, and this is the thing. Now let's start here. Let's start with me and my take on the album, right? Because this is my podcast at the end of the day, right? So it's only right that we actually start with my take on the album, right? And the reality of the situation is this. I my initial reaction, was I thought it was a cool Drake album. This is what it comes down to for me, right? Obviously, y'all probably know my stance on, just Drake as an artist, more specifically as an hip hop artist. Now, if we're having a hip hop conversation, I mean, Drake doesn't really even come up in my conversation, right? If we're talking about hip hop, if we're talking about music industry success, Billboard, then obviously it's impossible to not include Drake in that conversation. And the reality of the situation is this: I listened, I I skim listened to the album, right? I kind of lied to y'all. Is basically what I'm saying, right? And I want to just take this time right now to apologize to y'all because at the end of the day, I pride myself, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know this is channel Z100 at the end of the day, right? I keep it 100 with the people. And the reality of the situation is this. Like I said, there was a lot going on, you know what I'm saying? Different things, the docket. I ain't realistically, fam, I didn't even give y'all the full episode if I'm just being honest, fam. It was really 7 more topics I had for y'all. I had to clip those because realistically, fam, like I said, sometimes, E.B.C.G, everybody can't go, every topic can't go. Sometimes you gotta just, you know what I'm saying, hold some shit off. And realistically, I seen the week ahead coming. Yeah, yeah, yeah. As a podcaster, as the best broadcaster on this shit right now, sometimes you can kind of forecast the week ahead. And I seen the week ahead was gonna be loaded. So realistically, I said, you know what? Let me slow down. I'm gonna get him this and I'm gonna chill. And the reality of the situation is this. Y'all ain't even get all the snippets I have for y'all for episode 43, right? Those are still in the stories right now, fam. Facts. And y'all digging them. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, once again, all the viewership, appreciate it. Love, love, right? I say all that to say this. I kind of cap and I want to apologize for the cap, right? Now, did I cap though? I didn't really lie though. I didn't, nah, because I definitely did mention the fact that at the end, towards the end, right, I did say I kind of skimmed through the second half of the album, and that's facts. So I didn't give the album a full listen, right? But I heard some stuff and I liked some stuff and I kind of just focused on what I liked. That's what I did. I went into the situation. It was kind of it's like a yard sale. But you go into the yard sale and you grab the things that, you kind of like and that you could kind of make use of. That's what this Drake album was for me. It was a yard sale, fam. Yeah, yeah, facts. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to land on it. This Drake album was a yard sale, fam. It's all right? It's Drake. What did you expect, fam? That's the conversation right now, right? So now it's kind of like, you obviously you have your die-hard Drake fans that who are basically really emotionally affected by this stuff, like that really will sit there and cry and throw hands and really want to fight people. Like people want to fight for Drake. It's crazy, right? Especially when you, especially when you throw Kendrick name in the conversation, fam. Facts. And we're gonna get to that in just a second. Let's stay on the Drake album. For All the Dogs definitely dropped. Um, it dropped and it flopped. According to the internet. Now, Billboard might have something else to say. You understand what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this? When you have Bad Bunny, SZA, and all these people on your playlist album, I'm pretty sure that Billboard is getting ready to eat that up. You know what I'm saying? They gonna figure out a way to get that shit on repeat on Z100, and that's how that goes right there. They kind of streaming farms. It's a whole science behind streaming for real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they in the lab. They in the lab, and they really in the lab, and they really doing different things to make get these numbers to go a certain type of way. It's really like chemistry for real. It's really like it's a science. It's a science. It's a methodology, right? But that's a deeper conversation. I don't want to go that deep, right? Because I'm not Joe Budden at the end of the day, fam. I'm not. I'm not the guy, right? That's gonna sit here and really get that invested into the Drake conversation. Like I said, once again, we're gonna get to the Joe Budden take. And at the end of the day, Joe Budden set the goddamn internet on fire, fam. Yeah, yeah. Fuego. Fuego. I mean, he owned the internet for the past week, and it's just so. I feel like I don't know what's more disappointing, right? The fact that Drake put out an album and people are talking about Joe Budden right now. Like, isn't that just so ironic, especially considering the fact that Drake took it upon himself to actually respond to what a broadcaster had to say. Yeah, broadcasters, we kind of out here, I guess. I guess it's safe to say that, you know what I'm saying? When you on this microphone and you talking that shit, somebody's watching and somebody's listening. That goes back to my original point that I hit y'all with on the intro of this very episode. You don't know who's watching and who's listening and how you can be affecting somebody from afar with the things that you are saying. I mean, Joe Budden, there's so much to take away from this, right? Because from my perspective, who's the better rapper between these two? Like, can we just have like, let's just get to the shits, man. Like, shouldn't that be the conversation? Like, shouldn't we just be like comparing them? Like, as far as like realistically, fam, Drake is a better rapper than Joe Budden. I must say, when he in that bag, like, and he want to get into that rap bag, I must say, I probably enjoy Drake more than I enjoy Joe Budden. Joe Budden can rap though, and he definitely, you know what I'm saying? Listen, man, at the end of the day, fam, everybody's style ain't really, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really, the raspy, aggressive shit wasn't really my thing. You feel me? I ain't really understand it for a long time. Realistically though, I went back and I listened to some stuff and I caught on a little bit late with the whole Joe Budden thing, right? If I'm just being honest. I'm not one of those core Joe Budden fans. I'm more of a fan of the podcast because obviously that's what I do, right? My rap phase is over with, right? You know what I'm saying? I used to, you know what I'm saying? The MySpace page is still up if anybody's interested. You know what I'm saying? Backslash PACMAN 4LIF3. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that the music page is still up, fam. Yeah. Y'all want to hear the freestyles, fam? All I'm saying is this. Joe Budden can freestyle. He more of a freestyle, you know what I'm saying? DJ Clue, mixtape, that type of energy. Drake is more of a, you know what I'm saying, production, big, booming, production 40, doing, you know what I'm saying, working his magic and all that. And salute to 40 too, because at the end of the day, 40, I'm not even sure, was 40 like on the album? I'm not sure if he still got 40. I don't know what's going on, bro. It's not really it's not hitting the same, fam. The Drake is not really hitting the same. Now, like I said, for me personally, I went into the album, this was a yard sale. So I kind of already expected to, I didn't really see. I didn't think this was gonna be here. Definitely grabbed that J Cole verse, right? And that's kind of what happened for me. Once I got what I needed, which was the J Cole verse, I was kind of good after that. Is what I'm saying, right? So everything else after that point didn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? I got the verse I needed. Wow. Okay. Cool. Shot him in daylight. Shot him in daylight. I said, all right, okay. I see he tried to go, you know what I'm saying, up the energy, the tempos a little. That was cool. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, there's going to be a moment where that's going to be able to, you know what I'm saying, that's going to make sense, right? So I grabbed that one. I might have grabbed two other ones, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it was a yard sale. I grabbed what I like. We going to get to the Joe Budden take now. Joe Budden had a different take on this, obviously. A lot of different people, you know what I'm saying, NFR podcasts, salute to the guys, you know what I'm saying? Definitely two individuals who, whose music knowledge and music takes I definitely, respect. You know what I'm saying? They really, really, go in depth with the, you know what I'm saying? They doing the brackets, the whole tier list, the whole thing, fam. Salute to the NFR, right? I say all that to say this. If it was gonna be any two people who love this album, it was probably gonna be these two people right here. They didn't like the album, right? I say all that to say this: the general consensus is pretty much that Drake put out a mediocre album, and I just don't really know what people expect from Drake at this point. I mean, hence the fact that he then followed up by after he put out the album, he announced that he was basically getting ready to go on, basically take a break from the music, which I'm not really sure what that means at this point in his career. Realistically, fam, Drake might have just retired. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really sure. Listen, listen, listen. Once again, once again, everybody's not built for this hip hop shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of the situation, bro. You caught a wave early in your career. You got a great cosign, right? You got probably the best cosign that any rapper coming into the game can possibly receive. You got a Lil Wayne cosign during the era when Lil Wayne was Lil Wayne. Like, we're not talking about, you understand what I'm saying? So with all of that being said, I feel like he kind of rode the wave as long as he can, or as long as he could. Pause, by the way. Pause, pause. But he rode the wave as long as he could, right? That's what he did. And I mean, now I feel like he in the deep waters now. And Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? The Kendrick shark is swarming, fam. The J. Cole shark they are circling and surrounding you right now, fam. You are food in the water. When real MCs get next to you, that's what's happening right now. When a real MC get next to Drake, it don't really hit the same, fam. Drake Cole stole Drake's album from him, fam. Let's talk about it, fam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I'm about to turn up. J. Cole got on the Drake album. Let me slow down. Let me slow down because I didn't even really have none of this written down. I'm going off the dome. Shit is just hitting me in real time. Just 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 flow with me. Just flow with me, right? Drake couldn't flow with J. Cole, but just flow with me with this take right here. This hot take I'm about to hit y'all with. J. Cole stole the Drake album from Drake. Like, once you got to that Cole verse, you started to scratch your head and you started to go back and listen to them Drake verses. Like, wait, hold on. Let me don't really hit the same, do it. When a real MC is right there, fam. The same thing could be said about Kendrick. Unfortunately, we didn't really get much Kendrick this year. But you know what? At the end of the day, fam, and let me just slow down with that too, because yeah, I was a little, sometimes I turn up. Like I said, things get a little heated, fam. Things get a little heated, and I might say things out of pocket. I basically insinuated that Kendrick is no longer in the 1A, 1B conversation because at the end of the day, Drake is feeding his fans, right? And even though he might be force feeding them, right? He might be poisoning them at this point because I don't know they don't want nothing that he's giving, right? This is poison, Drake. You might need to do a poison sample flip. That might be hard right there. Come on, man. Let me A&R for this. I could get Drake lit on the low. You feel me? My point is this. My point is this. It's just hard to look like that guy when you have other people there. But I definitely, the 1A, 1B thing, Drake Cole. I only said that because at the end of the day, they're performing and they're doing the shit that we basically. I mean, we've been begging for the Kendrick Cole. I mean, at this point, it's like pathetic. It's pathetic. I must admit, it's pathetic how we begged for the J. Cole and Kendrick album, and we got nothing. We got nothing. You know what we got? I woke up for some money. He snuck a little hook in on the Dreamville session shit. Like, at the end of the day, fam, miss me with that right there, fam. Miss me with the mystique, mysterious. I'm gonna come in the studio. We not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna hit y'all with this little hook right here. We want a whole project, fam. That's what we asked for. So it's kind of like you get mad when it's like, all right, we know that you're I mean, clearly you're both capable of what I'm saying, rapping very, very. I just don't see how this is not gonna be. It just makes perfect sense at the end of the day. But Drake beat Kendrick. We got to give him that. Listen. If they sparring, Drake beat him to the punch there. he beat him to the punch with the J. Cole feature. Like, I mean, and he provided us with, well, I mean, J. Cole provided us with, I mean, obviously at this point, the feature of the year. If there's any argument about this not being the feature of the year, the only other nomination in consideration is another J. Cole verse, fam. Understand that it is literally J. Cole versus J. Cole this year, fam. Facts. It is J. Cole versus J. Cole versus nobody else is rapping, bro. And that's just my take on the Drake album right there. J. Cole won. Uh J. Cole won. Joe Budden won. I mean, he got the internet lit. Listen, man, I see what he did. It was clever. I was mad, but it was clever. He snatched that podcast right off of, threw that thing right behind the paywall. Like, hold on. Drake said what? He puts out the episode and he puts it out on Patreon because obviously all of the attention that this garnered brought all of these, I'm pretty sure you got new people now about to pull up. So obviously people were looking for this response. He put it on Patreon, right? Noted. I definitely took a notation of that. Like, all right, get yourself lit. And then you hide behind a paywall. Don't talk. I mean, I kind of had mixed feelings about it. I did feel like, all right, come on, fam. At the end of the day, fam, y'all not even in the same ring right now. You know what I'm saying? It's adjacent because it's like a microphone is there, and it's like, okay, yeah, like we can both reach each other with words, but at the end of the day, like, what do these words actually mean? Drake went and posted this long rant about basically, I mean, he kind of, maybe I need to pull this up because it was a, he kind of went in on Budden. I'm not even gonna hold you. Uh, do I want to read this though? And where do I find this? Let me go to his Instagram and shit. Champagne Poppy is definitely out here moving slop. Nah, this is the thing, right? I don't even think this shit is like. It wasn't on his Instagram, was it? Hold on, I'm gonna find this goddamn post. Paul. Yeah, so this is all right. Check this out. We going. Hold on. So let's actually hear some of what Joe Budden actually had to say. This is the Joe Budden podcast Drake album review for all the dogs. Let's hear it. What Joe Budden had to say.
I ain't gonna lie. This might be my last rap album review.
It's been a bad year, yeah. It's been a bad year for rap music. I mean,
I'm
music
done.
in general, honestly.
All of you rappers sound, at least 98% of y'all sound uninspired.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all do sound low effort. There's no new, exciting, creative energy on the way. All of y'all sound like y'all trying to sound like
Someone
the
else.
artists that you like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
None of y'all seem to be trying to innovate. Y'all are letting the tech outpace you when Yachty said all that shit that he said. And now that we have this project, where is that verse? Where is the verse that Yachty said is arguably one of the best verses Drake has ever written? It's nowhere on this project.
No.
Cole, you talk about Cole.
His top 10,
He don't
20,
even have
30,
the best
40,
verse on his project.
top 50 verses are not on this project. And that's where I recognize I have to let go of Drake. I have to let go. The Drake that I loved was the best hook creator, maker, loner outer of in the world.
Mm-hmm.
What is the last memorable hook you've heard from Drake? Even when he used to do features, it was his dominant hook.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard a dominant hook from Drake in a long time.
That's a good point.
So now you couple that with
valid points, all valid points so far.
He don't rap the way that he stays scheming, take care, views.
5 a.m.
That if you're reading this is so awful. Far gone. Even some of the shit that was on what was that Scorpion? More Life. What was that? One of them shits. This is like Yachty rapping. This is like he rapping for the children. And that's dog, I had to look up how old this nigga was when I finished listening to the album. You are 36. Your birthday is in 20 days. I Googled that too. You only 37 years old. Get the fuck away from some of these younger niggas and stop fucking these 25-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah. So that was Joe Budden's take on, some of his take on the Drake album review. He had some good things to say, and obviously, listen, obviously, anybody who's been a fan of the Joe Budden podcast, if you've kind of been following, you pretty much are aware of the fact that at the end of the day, Joe Budden is a fan of Drake and his music, right? Which is why this situation just doesn't even really seem like it does seem like it's getting blown out of proportion as far as because then Drake went and he responded to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really sure if he posted this on his IG or his Twitter. At the end of the day, I'm not even sure. This AI might have posted this, fan, but he definitely responded, and I have the post here. I have some of it here. So Drake responded, via post, Instagram post. Oh, okay, right. So he actually commented below a DJ Academics post that featured a video clip from the Joe Budden podcast, obviously speaking on the album. So Drake goes under that post and he comments at Joe Budden directly. Whoa, he ain't never came at Kendrick direct, but okay. This is a start. At Joe Budden, you have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip, because this is what actually pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. He also continued to say you switch careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke, living check to check, and the raps you write had 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty Nietzsche jeans to screw up their face, to mood music 29 and pretend you are the GOAT. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like at the end of the day, the response is, clever. I'm saying, to say the least. And I do feel like if he would have put this in rap form, he might have had something better than back to back with this one. There's more. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset. After the fact, the rap star wrote, this guy is the poster child of frustration and surrendering. You retired, and we never hung up your jersey. We don't even remember your number. We know you for doing this. You withdrew from rap not because you accomplished all you need to, it's because it wasn't working for you. I mean, listen, and that's Drake's opinion, at the end of the day, like I said, obviously these two men have been, kind of going back and forth. I feel like obviously there was at some point a friendship, a relationship. I'm not sure if it was maybe a business related. I don't know if it was more personal, more business related. I don't know. But obviously, Joe Budden and Drake have a history, a lengthy history. And this only just adds to that history. The question now is what is next as far as, obviously, people going to speculate the obvious. Oh, Joe Budden about to come out of retirement. I mean, do I really want to see that? At the podcaster in me? No, no. Because realistically, I feel like what Joe Budden is doing at the end of the day, what he's done, we should salute it. We have to salute it at the end of the day. He actually provided artists with a blueprint on how to pivot, right? Because you could call it whatever you like to call it, but realistically, fam, the reality of the situation is this. We see more unsuccessful rappers than we see successful rappers. And Drake is obviously an anomaly. Whether or not you want to talk about, obviously Kendrick, J. Cole, these are anomalies when it comes to success in rap. People who are actually able to carve out identities that, captured, so many, fans that they actually were able to have that much longevity in music, right? These are loyal, they have loyal, that's what you call loyal fan bases, right? Core fan bases. Joe Budden has a core fan base as well. And, obviously the music thing didn't really, pan out the way, maybe as planned. But they also say that, you make plans and God laughs, so realistically, fam, I just feel like the fact that, Joe Budden is still relevant, I would have to say that he's a success as well. Regardless of what the stats are, once again, like I said, if we look at, hip hop artists and we look at, the stats and we start looking at basically just the amount of how many hip hop artists killed, how many, I mean, we just don't see these success stories that often. So, like I said, once again, I do feel like it's important that we had an artist or, a podcaster or a broadcaster such as Joe Budden who was able to provide that blueprint so that when artists kind of hit a wall in their career, right? And that doesn't necessarily even, that's not even really a slight to the artist. Hitting a wall in your career doesn't necessarily mean that you're not talented or that you are unable to create good music. You know what I'm saying? That's not necessarily always the recipe for success. Everybody's story and everybody's journey is different, right? Different situations, different things in business, labels, things changing, policies, people getting laid off, different people coming in, not seeing the vision of the old. So many different things have transpired in music, and obviously that's a whole nother podcast within itself, just music industry, politics, and politics. So once again, the fact that there is an opportunity now for artists to now kind of jump into another lane and continue to, have influence and, basically bring their fans over to a new world, I think it's dope. I don't think Drake agrees, but I don't think that everybody's gonna agree on everything. Obviously, maybe I'm pretty sure that this is you know, this probably should end here at this point. I don't know though. I might listen. I might go. I mean, Joe Budden, a new episode dropped for sure. I gotta go. I'm gonna watch that right after this. Yeah. So I'm not really sure if this is gonna continue. Drake had a lot to say. Joe Budden had a lot to say. Uh, he definitely made some valid points though, as far as this year just kind of being. This is definitely a really really light hip hop year as far as we didn't really get what we was kind of expecting, especially considering the fact that this is the 50th year of hip hop. And I must say, once again, I am genuinely hurt. I'm genuinely hurt, man. I'm genuinely hurt and disappointed in certain artists. I'm not gonna say any names, but y'all already know. Like there's no excuse. There's no excuse. I just feel like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like when we look at just where the culture is going now, right? And I feel like we see, different things being implemented into the, like we have the AI, kind of being able to clone, artists and put out, pseudo versions of records and all of these different things that are taking place. It's so easy. And I mean, I feel like we see this now. We can see it more clear now, how easy it can, it can just be erased. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, if we don't really even need to be there for artists to, like, I'm just saying, man, I just feel like there's clearly a message that's being sent to the culture, and I feel like it is up to artists who are within the culture, who are staples within the culture, to kind of, protect the culture, preserve the culture, right? In a year like this, I just feel like it was a missed opportunity for a lot of artists, man. That's all I'm trying to say, fam. Missed opportunity. I'm hurt. I'm disappointed. We still got 2 months left though, and I'm holding off some hope. I got 2 months of hope left for some of you artists, fam, to not let hip hop go out like this on the 50th year of hip hop, fam. J. Cole, where are you, fam? We heard the verse, and realistically, that verse, I mean, at least he gave us those verses. I mean, that ain't the only verse, by the way, that he snapped on this year. The Yachty verse, that recipe joint, I ain't really talk about that, but I definitely heard that as well. Fire. I mean, like I said, it's J. Cole versus J. Cole, man, for verse of the year, man. Those two verses are, I mean, some of his, I mean, I don't know how he does this every time. Like you feel like you heard the best J. Cole verse, and then it's like he just evolves and gets better. It's actually pretty fucking amazing. Salute to J. Cole, salute to hip hop, salute to Kendrick as well. At the end of the day, whether or not it doesn't really, we not banking on the album for, Kendrick, he kind of is already, his spot is already kind of cemented as far as the culture, right? And it's not really like one of those things where like we not giving ultimatums here. All we saying is we just had different expectations. That's all we are saying, right? Uh, but 2024 is Mamba year though, and I mean, we don't really know what. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like 2024 is gonna be a historic year. Definitely gonna be a historic year for Willmatic TV, the E.B.C.G podcast. Mamba year. I feel like I'm definitely approaching 2024 with, like I said, Mamba mentality times seven. It's gonna be Mamba mentality. Monday through Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Or Monday through Sunday rather. It might realistically it probably will be Monday through Saturday though. I'm gonna need some sleep. You feel me? Sunday's probably I'm gonna be on shack timing. My point is this. I'm laid up somewhere eating a bunch of food and shit, getting fat, not working out, not in shape, not working on my posts, my free throws and shit. I'm just saying, man, yeah, man, let's make history. 2024 Mamba year. We'll see how that plays out as far as hip hop, and music. I'm all for the Joe Budden Drake shit. I gave y'all everything I had with that. I did. An hour and 15 minutes in. Okay. Let's skate. Let's skate. Let's skate through these now. Let's start skating. Hold on. Where we at? Yeah. Man, that's interesting though, because we're gonna definitely get to Shaq a little bit later. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We definitely got some Shaq news. Um, BT Hip Hop Awards, I gave y'all that. Yeah, we all for that. I feel like so we were just speaking about, you know, um the music industry and, just where the direction that, the industry is going in and just the different things that are taking place. With that being said, Kanye West, or Ye rather, pardon self, that is his legal name. It's so hard to let go of Kanye. I'm not gonna hold you. New Ye leaks have definitely surfaced and hit the ethernet. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm very, very I'm baffled. I'm baffled. I'm actually baffled by what exactly is happening right now. As it pertains to these Kanye West leaks. I'm gonna say Kanye at the end of the day, because these are some Kanye West leaks, man. Some of these shits is from we talking about before he changed his name. This is like Yeezus. You got Yeezus 2. You got Jesus is King 2, which I kinda gave that a little. I skimmed through that right there, like like 3 or 4 songs or whatever the case may be, and I'm not gonna hold you. It sounds amazing. You know what I'm saying? And these are not even like the completed, right? This is like the reference version, basically, right? I'm not really sure how these ended up hitting the net. Where is Kanye right now? Is he good, fam? Because I don't really know, man. You know, you'll be scrolling down your timeline, you'll just see some random picture or clip, but yeah, they always got a camera on him wherever he's at, right? So they kind of clearly he's being watched and followed everywhere. Now you got these random ass, you know what I'm saying, distorted leaks just coming out of nowhere, right? Then, in addition to the music, a full documentary has also surfaced, which listen, I'm not even gonna hold you, man. Uh this might be one of the greatest documentaries I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it is one of the greatest documentaries I've ever seen. There's no debating or denying that. I mean, I'm not really sure if it's because it caught me off guard or if I was just mad. You know what I'm saying? The wedding cake is just hitting. Like, I watched that documentary and I literally sat there. I didn't even blink, fam. I mean, just some of the most inspiring shit. You just basically kind of see all of the footwork, that kind of goes into everything that he was basically doing, everything that we heard him doing. And like I said, I'm such a huge fan of basically being able to see it, right? Because it's one thing to hear about, different deals that are getting done, and you know, you applaud when you see or read an article about whoever doing whatever, right? Not to make this specific to anybody, right? Because this is not a competition. At the end of the day, I want to see success, whether in all capacities. It doesn't really matter. There's no real face that needs to be on it. I just feel like success is inspiring, right? And to see somebody kind of carve it out and see it in real time. And I say all that to say this. This documentary is basically highlighting all of, different meetings. And I mean, he's on different continents, going in different meetings, going indoors. He's still being the guy that we pretty much always known him to be. I mean, it's to me, it's truly inspiring to actually see how how he navigates in that space, right? You don't got to agree with everything. And obviously, this is not what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily saying that this is like the documentary is amazing, though. It is. It is. I must say, the name of the documentary, I believe, hold on, because it's definitely in my YouTube history. I'm definitely going to rewatch this because I fell asleep to this shit. Yeah, it put me right out. I couldn't even, it's like 3 hours. I believe I know it's UCLA in the title. Hold on. Let me see what this is right. I mean, like I said, I wasn't expecting any Kanye doc. The name of the documentary is 500 Days in UCLA. Unreleased documentary. From what I understand, it's been taken down several times, so you might want to save this one to your phone. And as I'm saying that to y'all, I'm about to do that right now, fam, because I need this joint right here. Yeah, we'll do that after we get off. Yeah, 500 Days in UCLA, unreleased documentary by Ye. Hit the net out of nowhere. It's literally 2 hours and 33 minutes and 33 seconds, fam. Get your popcorn ready, fam. It's a movie. It is a movie. I mean, you literally see them, blueprints of cities being drawn out. He's literally sitting there. They trying to build cities. You got all the different damn Yeezy models, and just the way he approaches the whole fashion thing. He's really serious about it. And like I said, once again, being able to see how he kind of walks into these rooms as himself, and he's literally. I mean, it's an amazing documentary to say the least, and a random one. I'm not really sure what's going on, fam. Does Kim Kardashian did in the settlement, right? Does she get like his hard drives too? Like, I'm not really sure. Like, Kim Kardashian might have the Kanye West hard drive right now, fam. I'm not really sure what's going on, but why are these random ass? She's in the documentary as well. She's definitely in. Obviously, that's mother of his child, his wife, or his ex-wife now. His ex-wife now. I think I'm off of the random yay leaks, right? Jesus is King. Like I said, some of that shit sounded like, hopefully, I'm assuming new music is on the way. Segueing off of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, who are certainly no strangers to the news when it comes to relationship problems. I want to segue into Jada Pinkett Smith, who has definitely released a new memoir. And the memoir is titled Worthy. From what I understand, it is a very, very revealing, scorching, flaming hot take central, fam. I thought I had the hot takes on this episode. Let me tell you something right now. From what I'm hearing, Worthy is where the hot takes is at right now. As a matter of fact, I'm mad I ain't have it queued up, but god damn it, when I say Worthy, I need to drop a flex bomb. Because Jada Pinkett Smith is definitely out here wilding for respect, wilding for her worth, wilding for, I don't know, wilding for Pac. She's going, it's a lot right now. It's a lot right now. Rest in power to Tupac Shakur forever, by the way. And I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a small part of me as a Tupac fan that I do kind of like. I do appreciate the fact that she kind of still basically keeps that, you know what I'm saying? Reminds everybody that died, like, this was like, it was Pac. It was Pac at the end of the day, fam. Like, this was a one-on-one. You feel me? And I've never recovered because the reality of the situation is hip hop has never recovered, right? And that's a perfect example of basically just his impact and his legacy, fam. Like, people, they don't even want to let this man go, fam. Keefy D and Suge, these goofies, y'all still trying to get clout off of this man's name. Y'all niggas is 60, bro. Why y'all still interviewing and talking about, oh, but Orlando Jordan and because he was so young. Pac was 25, bro. You trying to get clout off of killing a 25-year-old? Listen, I'm sorry. I got hot. I did. Because at the end of the day, that was last episode. We gonna get off of that. That was episode 43. Y'all could go ahead and go back to that episode if y'all wanna pretty much hear my stance on that whole situation. Rest in power to Tupac Shakur. Jada Pinkett Smith put out a new memoir titled Worthy, and listen, it's very revealing. Obviously, I haven't read it yet. I got a lot of reading to do, by the way. There's a few of these memoirs I need to go grab, and yeah, I'm gonna sit with some of these. I don't know if I want to really read this because it's just like I already know. Like, my respect for Will Smith, my respect for. Listen, I mean, we talking about Fresh Prince, like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air will forever be a show that the show might have changed my life. Like, the show has been so impactful to me. Like, Will Smith is like, you feel like he's part of your family to a certain degree. If you've grown up watching, you know what I'm saying, the work that he's contributed over the years, through film, through television. Now, obviously, we don't really know him personally, right? Jada does. And she is, I mean, I don't really know we don't really know what the ins and outs of the situation is, but what I can say is this. I haven't read the book yet. I did see an interview, though, this morning, actually, that, it kind of caught me off guard. I'm not going to lie to you. Because it's an interview where Jada Pinkett Smith sits down with, the Today Show. She sits down with the Today Show and she basically addresses the Chris Rock slap incident that took place, what was it, 3 years ago now? 2 years? 3? This is kind of a thing of the past now, and I actually forgot about it. And if I'm being honest, I kind of forgot about it. And I'm pretty sure that Chris Rock is somewhere sitting back like, damn, fam. Just when, or maybe this is like, because realistically, let me slow down. I'm going to let Jada tell it. I got the news clip right here.
On Oscar night 2022, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock after Chris made a crack about Jada's hair. I could tell it bothered you. You did an eye roll.
Right. Yeah, and I did that eye roll not so much for me. And I think this is really important. But the fact that there could be a jab at alopecia.
Will then went on a profane tirade warning Chris not to mention his wife's name. Jada couldn't believe what she was hearing.
what is going on? Now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time.
I'm gonna pause it right there. So basically, to my surprise, right? Like I'm pretty sure much other people are gonna. So there was different things that obviously we weren't even made aware of. I'm not really sure. Like I said, once again, well, obviously when you're putting out a memoir, you want the memoir to sell, right? So she kind of held this in the. She held. Oh, I see what she did. She held this, and she knew she was putting this book out. So realistically, there's no like I just don't really even see like are they married or not at this point? Are they married or not, fam? Can we make the Will and Jada divorce official now? They clearly hate each other's guts. This is crazy. You wait 2 more years after things kind of got quiet and now you coming out to reveal. So basically what you're saying is that Will Smith is mentally ill and disturbed, basically, right? Because you're telling us now that he's not even, y'all wasn't even husband and wife. He sat there and, all right, let's continue.
I'm like, what is going on right
keep
now?
my wife's name
out of your mouth, right? And I'm like, but now I'm really worried for Will because I don't know what's going on.
What viewers did not see at the time, while Oscar clips were being shown, was Chris Rock leaning over the stage to talk to Jada.
And Chris looks to me and he says, Jada, I meant no harm. Now, I'm just out of it because I'm really worried about Will.
What's Will doing? He's just sitting there?
And Will's still talking. He's like, he's still, because now he's mad because Chris is talking to me. And I go, Chris, this is about some old shit. That's all I could think to say, right? And I couldn't really take in his apology.
How unusual for Will, a guy who, I mean, on that kind of stage to do something so insane.
Absolutely.
It's totally out of character.
It's not him whatsoever.
And to Jada's surprise, she was also blamed. You became
I want to pause it again because, like I said, there's a lot to take away from this. I'm somebody who overanalyzes just about pretty much everything, right? And there's something that I feel like is very noteworthy there. The fact that the reporter kind of had to basically remind Jada to speak to her husband's character, right? Right? She kind of, and then the way she reacted, I'm just saying, I read body language. Listen, that's for another time. There's a lot of things wrong about this. I'm not really sure what the current status between Will and Jada is as far as like their relationship, where they at, their temperament. You know, are they their living arrangements? Like she didn't go home to Will after this interview, did she? I'm pretty sure she's not. They don't live together. They can't possibly live together anymore. Are they divorced or are they not? Like we don't really want to keep seeing a dysfunctional black family. We've seen that enough. I've seen that enough. Like this is triggering to be. That's the real take. I don't want to see another black family, another dysfunctional black family, fam. Like how much this was the, especially considering the fact that you were the poster child for just the complete opposite of that. This was the most wholesome black family we ever had at one point. The Will Jada, the kind of like the hood, but like not so hood, Hollywood. It's all good in the hood. I don't know, man. It's not really understood at this point. I'm not really sure what's going on. Pac, once again, obviously, from what I understand, there's a quote, I'm assuming from the memoir of Jada basically saying that Pac was her soulmate or is her soulmate or something along these lines. So I don't know. I don't really know, man. Like I don't really know what to say. Let me let Jada keep saying what she's saying though.
That guy. Look what Jada made him do. Jada rolled her eyes and look what he did. He ran up there and hit Chris.
My son Pac, man.
That's what the narrative
Come on
became.
now.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
She says that's because 2
Facts.
years earlier, Jada discussed what she called an entanglement on her show, Red Table Talk.
My honest opinion about that is that narrative had more to do with the false narrative that I helped to create on the Red Table.
So poor Will because of
the adulterous wife.
Yeah.
Who forced him to go to the table and sit there. You know what I mean? And now look at what she's done. She has the power with an eye roll to make him go up and slap somebody on stage.
So that was from her point of view, and she says that there was bad blood between Chris Rock and Will from before.
Okay, and that's interesting that because I didn't even catch that on my first listen. Interesting facts. Interesting interview. Interesting times. Will and Jada. So according to Jada, and what was just said there was that there was some bad blood between Chris Rock and Will Smith prior. Now, I definitely had a hot take at some point. This might have been episode 10. Will or Chris Rock rather and Jada Pinkett Smith definitely did a film together. I'm not sure what was the name of that movie. Was it? I don't remember. Dr. Doolittle, one of them shits, fam. But I just remember them being on a press run together, and they basically, a press run is basically when y'all go out, y'all go sit and do different interviews with different platforms or whatever the case may be. This is something that's a very lengthy process, right? I happen to know that about press runs. So I'm just saying, all I'm saying is, Chris Rock and Jada, they basically went on tour together. They've traveled together. They might have slept in the same hotels together. We don't know just how things might have went left there, right? And if I'm now hearing that there was actually bad blood between Will Smith and Chris Rock prior to this, I'm just gonna put two and two together. And then he leaned over. We wasn't even aware of that. He leaned over to talk to Jada in real. We didn't even see that happen. I don't know, man. So listen, it is what it is, man. Jada Pinkett is definitely trying to sell this book. I'm pretty sure she going to probably get $10 out of me, fam. I'll pay $10.99 for that. I'm gonna get the audio book too. Like I want to definitely see what's going on here. Like I said, there's a few books that I need to read. Not just the T though. I don't just need the T books and shit. Like I actually need I might need to go grab anyway. There's a few joints I need to pick up right now. It's a lot going on. Like I said, a quote: "I cried before I married you." Oh, she was talking about Will. She cried before she married Will. I mean, I'm not really sure why I needed to learn that at this point in my life. Like I said, once again, I feel like we've seen Will Smith, kind of carry the torch for black men up until this point. He was the perfect model citizen, like for just any man for real. You didn't have to necessarily be black. Like he wasn't really even on that black shit for real. We didn't really see him during the Trayvon and all that stuff. What was kind of quiet when all that stuff was popping off. My point is this. We give you a pass because we got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You understand? Another show that depicts basically black family values and just the peaks and valleys and the ups and downs there. So we kind of give you a pass for that. Bad Boys, you did that, you know what I mean? You and Martin, come on, man. Bad Boys was one of the greatest movies. That first one was really the one for real. Understand that Fresh Prince and Martin, them shits might have came on the day of the movie release. So like you was watching Fresh Prince, Martin, and then you went to go watch Bad Boys at the theater. Like that was the most epic shit of all time, fam. They knocked that out of the park, right? Something you just never thought you would see. They might as well have threw Steve Urkel in that bitch. That would have been crazy. And added, you know what I mean? Family Matters, a little mashup. Come on. I'm gonna get off of this at this point. I think I've milked this dry. I have nothing else to add to this other than the fact that Jada, you know, so I mean, to each his own, man. Freedom of speech. Can't really knock anybody for wanting to reveal or tell their story. At the end of the day, this is her story. Her story. his story. I mean, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna read this book. I'm gonna read this book. Absolutely. I'm definitely gonna read this book. You know, we gonna get off of that now, and we're gonna get into, you know, I mean, listen, man. Every now and then they just get it right. Every now and then they just get it right. Every now and then they get it right, and we have to absolutely applaud and acknowledge the fact that Reebok got it right. Uh, Reebok 100%, absolutely, positively. I'm not even sure if I said that right, but I'm so excited right now that it don't even matter, fam. Reebok, the brand that we all kind of, were introduced to through, the sport of basketball. Well, they have now circled back and, you know, on Thursday, October 12th, 2023, Reebok has made an announcement, and Shaquille O'Neal has been named as the first president of basketball. And in addition to that monumental epic news, it only gets more epic from there, because in addition to Shaq becoming the first president of basketball operations for the brand Reebok, they have also added Allen Iverson. Yeah, yeah. Bubba Chuck. AI. Yeah, number three himself has been announced as the vice president, of basketball operations for the brand under Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, listen, man, drop another goddamn bomb, man. I need. I'm like, hold on, man. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, realistically, like I said, sometimes they just get it right. Sometimes they just hit it out the park, and this is absolutely, they hit this out the park. There's nothing else really to be said here other than the fact that if you're gonna, place any two individuals, what two better individuals to wear these hats and, play these roles for this particular brand, other than, the two individuals who pretty much are responsible for the relevance of the brand. I mean, let's pay it forward here. And let's just keep it all the way 100. Like, AI, enough said. Enough said. I'm not really sure if Reebok would have still been in business without the questions and, all of those different. I mean, they milked that shit. I done seen colorways that AI never wore, fam. Teams he never played for, teams he might have never played against, fam. They was putting out every colorway except the ones that we wanted. Like, it was getting crazy at a certain point, and we was kind of looking at it like we wasn't really sure what Reebok was doing. At this point, it's now clear that they are going in a different direction by placing Shaquille O'Neal as the, president of basketball, the first president, and Allen Iverson, I'm assuming, the first vice president. I just think that obviously, as a, listen, y'all already know, if y'all know me, Will Batty TV, you know what I'm saying? Allen Iverson is definitely the GOAT, you know what I'm saying, to me, as far as, just, everything that he represents, and, everything that he was up against, and the way he kind of navigated and was able to perform on the level that he was performing, while still basically trying to figure out all of the different things outside of basketball in real time. I truly do feel like AI was an anomaly, especially at the size that he played and, everything that he did on the court. There's really no argument as far as, pound for pound, who kind of approached the game with the most heart and the most passion, or whatever the case may be. Not necessarily the most, because listen, obviously Kobe, you got to put Kobe in that conversation as well when we talking about passion, right? But I'm just saying Kobe was more equipped, you know, to be a lethal weapon in the game. I feel like AI, it just was more the odds were stacked more against Allen Iverson, right? As far as before he even got to the league, you know, we all know the story. Bowling alley, you know, that whole incident, you know, race, you know, it was a race war. He was in a whole race war before he got to the league, fam. And he got the short end of the stick, ended up going to prison, you know, ended up getting exonerated by the mayor or the governor on their last day of serving as mayor or governor. And it was like basically destined for this man to literally become everything that he became. For him to make it to this point now, salute to Shaq as well. Obviously, we expect this from Shaquille O'Neal at this point. Shaquille O'Neal is not only the most dominant center in the NBA, one of the most dominant centers, if not the most dominant center in NBA history, a towering figure on the court, but obviously what he's doing in business, is monumental as well. And, we kind of see the different power plays that he's been making over the years, whether it's real estate, different real estate projects in Jersey, partnering up with, different athletes, activists, whoever, Shaq is kind of, he kind of been on his bully when it come to business, right? AI, this is more of a surprise and kind of just like I didn't really expect this. I didn't. So I was really, really pleased when I seen this. I definitely had to, obviously I was gonna come to the docket with that. Come on, man. Bro, hit the bomb. Let me get another bomb, fam. Come on, man. Allen Iverson is the vice president right now, fam. Stop playing with me, fam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Practice. Y'all want to talk about practice? Oh, it was so funny. He didn't look. Play the clip again. They played that clip a million times, fam, and tried to make it seem like he don't work on his craft. He the vice president of Reebok now, fam. How do you like that? Yeah, nah, salute to AI though. Seriously, man. And Shaq and Reebok. That's dope. I'm definitely about to re-up on some Reebok. It's about to be, listen, Nike might have a problem now. You got AI as vice president, fam. It's gonna be all type of. I mean, listen, we seen what he did as far as, and like I said, once again, the influence in fashion. And everything that he did in fashion, as far as we see that to this day, and people wear AI's influence to this day. So I just feel like I said, once again, they made the right decision. They made the right decision. It might not be two other better, individuals suited for these roles at this current time. Salute to Reebok though. Facts. Vice president and the president is crazy. Um, yeah. I don't really feel like new music. Did we get new music? We didn't really. Offset. Offset definitely dropped. Set it off. I definitely did skim through it just to kind of hear like what the sound might have been, and I do feel like I'm not gonna hold you. Like based on what I heard so far, it's sounding like it's gonna be, some of those joints is definitely gonna go. I didn't really hear everything, like I said. I got to the joint with him and Cardi, and then I accidentally clicked off abruptly because I went to go search for the Bad Bunny new album, right? Then I ended up hitting play on one of the joints. Then I ended up, you know what I'm saying? It kind of threw me off. Nadie sabe lo que va a pasar mañana. And if I didn't pronounce that right, I apologize. I am a eighth grade dropout, though, and I definitely, if I wasn't, listen, I didn't even sit in English class. You thought I was sitting in Spanish class, man? They couldn't even sit there. I didn't even want to hear my own language, right? Or what they taught me was my own language. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But nobody knows what will happen tomorrow, and that is the pronunciation, the translation of the title that I probably just botched completely in Spanish. Pardon me. Por favor. How do you say? Anyway, forgive me. Forgive me. Por favor. Por favor. It's really the roll of the tongue, and that's pretty much how you get a sentence. Bad Bunny put out an album though, and once again, I might have heard 3 tracks. Again, I feel like every Bad Bunny album pretty much sounds like the same thing. I can't even pronounce the title of the album, fam. If y'all think like every song is kind of like, all right, I'm really there just for the energy, the tempo, the instrumentals, the production. It was sounding pretty cool, sounding pretty clean. I'm pretty sure that most of these songs, this is probably gonna go diamond at the end of the day because, like I said before, there's definitely a method when it comes to the streaming, to streaming, an artist basically um getting to these certain hitting these certain landmarks in music. I'm definitely gassed at this point, if you couldn't tell, on that, subpar Bad Bunny and Offset album review. I didn't really hear the albums, so I couldn't really say much about it. Y'all see how my energy went up for the Shaq and AI announcement, because I had a lot to say about that. I really felt that. You feel me? I really had Reeboks. I still have my questions and my, like, understand that I was already on this. So I see that. I go, you know what I'm saying? That was definitely amazing to see. Episode 44 is coming to a close here. I would like to thank you all for joining me. If this is your first time or your last time, you know, it's gonna be Willmatic TV every time. I'm gonna close my docket at this point. You know what I'm saying? This is the part where we hit y'all with the fly outro, and then we close out the episode. You know what I'm saying? And say peace, love, and prosperity into the next time. But before we get there, I just want to say, obviously, once again, with all of the things that are taking place all over the world right now, there's so much despair, so much tragedy, so much, negativity going on. I feel like now more than ever is the time for the people to come together, in all seriousness though, because realistically, come together, what does that even really mean, right? You gotta just really, I don't know, man. Like I said, man, in the intro, my appreciation level for things have, I feel like every day we just get a different example of why, you kind of just really gotta appreciate the times that we have, the opportunities that we have now. We always want to focus on the things of yesterday and history, right? The things of the past. The best teacher of the future is the past. But at the end of the day, should you allow that past to dictate your future? My name is Willmatic TV. This has been the E.B.C.G. Episode 44, more specifically. I definitely want to say peace, love, prayers, and prosperity to you and me, everybody, all over the world, all the children, the boys and the girls, men and women, you know, who basically, are basically going through turbulent times, war, uncertainty, you know. Prayers to everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like I said again, just appreciate having the opportunity to make the change or be the change that you want to see. I had to end it with Gandhi, fam. I don't know how else to end it. Like, you have to hit him with a Gandhi quote. This is crazy times, bro. Yeah, man. Seriously though, man. To the next time, man. Willmatic TV, episode 44. This is definitely a wrap. Thanks for joining me once again. Yeah, man. To the next time. Peace, love, prosperity. One.